Lobo fans. Welcome back inside the Lobo Lounge. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, and I have the Assistant Athletic Director for Communications at the University of New Mexico, our head SID. It's Frank Mercogliano. Frank, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's weird to be on this side of the camera for one of these things.
Yeah, you've been hosting all of these. We've done over 30 of them now, and they've been really well received, haven't they?
You know, they have been. It's fun. We get a couple thousand views on each one. Usually it's around 1,500 on Twitter. There's about 1,000 or so that go on Facebook. We get a few hundred on YouTube. And I do know, I was talking to, obviously, Paige Klosterman has done one of these, but in talking with the Lobo Club in some of our meetings, they say that this is when they talk to boosters and they talk to Lobo Club members about how they're doing and getting ready for the next season, they all come back to these Lobo lounges. They love hearing from everybody. So it's been a neat thing.
And I think it's been great to get around the department as well, from the Maloof building to the Todeum complex, to the Davalos Center, all the different Olympic sports and coaches have been included, and now communications. And I know that your plate has been full, though most of it has been done from home. What has been keeping you busy?
A lot of different things. You know, we started the Best of 2000s team when the whole thing first happened. I'd had this idea that, you know, we'd had 20 seasons of Lobo football in the 2000s, and we should do some sort of remembrance of the first 20 years. And then when all the COVID stuff happened, I was like, well, now I got a time to do it, and we could do a Twitter poll. And I thought, well, this will be really simple. It'll be quick. And it's not quick. We're on week 7 of this thing, but we're winding down. We've had 27 or so people named, and we'll be done by the end of this week. So we'll have the full team of the 2000s picked by the fans. And it's actually neat. I actually have a poster design that I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe work with our New Mexico Sports Properties people to get a sponsor and maybe have it like a giveaway or something. It's a neat piece.
And you have been interested to see the response and the fact that there are a lot of people very passionate about, you know, who has been the best of all time at a certain position and who belongs on the team, and the discussion and even some arguments about that. It's been fun.
It's been fun. You know, the really cool thing is hearing from the football staff. So it really started as a way to just engage fans. We lost spring football, the back end of it. So it's what can we do to keep football kind of in the know and in the discussion for people. And in doing it, the football staff has gotten a lot of notes from ex-players and a lot of ex-players who are really excited at seeing their name, even if they don't get voted into the team, that they were nominated by people they're in the discussion kind of thing. And so they've talked about, to me, how exciting it's been for them to have all these ex-players and former Lobos. And that's one of the things that Danny's really trying to do, is bring back that generation of players. You know, we have a pretty good relationship with the guys who played in the 80s and the 70s and the really recent guys, but that mid group in the 2000s is really sort of like a lost little group. It's been nice to get that group back in there. It's been a lot of fun. We've had over 500,000 impressions on Twitter from the polls, all the different tweets and the polls, and you know how it extends out to people. So it's really been good for us.
That's awesome, and that falls right in line with the 2007 Lobo Rewind game that we did, the New Mexico Bowl, the bowl victory, and the, you know, Rocky and Danny being on camera, and all the incredible response from the players, especially. Of course, the fan engagement was amazing, but to see all those great Lobo players from, you know, the 2000s that you pointed out that were on that team and other teams surrounding that team to engage like that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and you know, it was crazy because we had it all set up, we were all ready to go, and I told my wife and family we were moving, so we were packing boxes, and I said, look, I'm going to have to just sit, and I just want to make sure this goes off fine. Once it goes off, I'll go back to packing boxes, and I couldn't leave the screen. Like, my daughter came in, she started watching it, and it was great. It was so much fun to watch that, to see the fan interaction, and you're kind of looking at the piece on the side where the fans are going, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, that's John Sullivan. Hey, that's Glover Quinn in here. It's like, wait, what's that guy doing here? Wait, we know him. And just all these old Lobos were coming back in, and they started – it almost was a little bit like a peek into the locker room, because they started jabbing at each other a little bit, and when Michael Tui was like, wait a minute, you cut my sack out? It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it was great because you could just picture guys going back to their time at UNM and how much you could feel how much fun those guys had 15 years ago at that game or 13 years ago at that game. And so I think it was really good for our fans too, to know that we have had good football here. People forget, they look at, the 1-11, 1-11, 1-11 from a few years back, and they go, oh, it's been terrible. It hasn't always been terrible. It's been pretty good, and we've had a good run. It's been a little down the last couple of years, but I don't see that continuing.
Graduation is coming up for student athletes, and I know the Lobo Club and Lobo Athletics are doing some things in this unique scenario with everything being online. But before we get to that, you mentioned that you just moved. Moving during a pandemic, a pretty unique situation, I would imagine, but we're in your new home office there?
Yes, new home office. So you can see I got pennants and lots of baseball stuff. There's stuff on the walls. Up over here, I have my curling things because I'm a curler and I do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's moving during a pandemic, not the wisest thing to do. It's a little tough to do that, but thankfully it wasn't that long a move, and we got a nice house, and it's a little more conducive now being in an office to get some work done.
So what are the plans for a virtual graduation?
So we'll be announcing some bigger plans, hopefully here in the next couple of days. But we do have some smaller plans to recognize the kids that are graduating. I know the Lobo Club's working on some graphics with some quotes. The Mountain West had us get photos of every graduating senior in the spring sports. So like the Mountain West is more concentrating on the spring because they're the ones that lost their season. Lobo Club is concentrating on the whole group. So we'll have some various graphics that go from football and soccer in the fall to basketball in the winter and swimming to the tennises and golfs in the spring. And then hopefully we'll have a bigger announcement, something along the lines of the Lobo Rewind that we'll be able to do that'll really honor the kids. Because listen, so many things have changed in this world. There's so many things that, the price of a house has changed and the price of a car has changed. All these different things change. But the one thing that has been a constant from hell, the 1920s to the 2020s is that the value of a college degree is important. It's really good, and it is an accomplishment. And whether you graduated in 1947 or 1967 or 2010 or 2020, graduating from college is a major, major accomplishment. And we want to be able to honor some of these, Lauren Wilmer for softball, she's the first one in her family to graduate, and she doesn't get to walk across the stage, but we want to make sure we can honor people like that so that it's a special moment for them. Hopefully it comes out pretty good.
Well said, Frank. Let's wrap up with this. We've been talking with people in the Lobo Lounge about the content or something that they've been able to do in their homes to keep busy when they have downtime. And it's been interesting to see the range of different shows and other things that people are doing, games that they're playing. First off, how many of your family do you have under your roof? Because that's the other thing that's happened is everybody's come home. And then, what have you guys been doing?
It's just my youngest daughter. I have three. So it's my youngest daughter and my wife. We actually just celebrated her birthday. We celebrated my birthday. So we did that during the move. That was a blast. The big 5-0.
Oh, yeah, it was a big one for Frank.
Yeah, well, it's a big 5-0. So we're all here under the same house. I missed a lot of stuff. I'm obviously watching The Last Dance because it's the only sports going right now, which has been nice. I've caught up on a few 30 for 30s that I had missed. The biggest thing is I finally caught up on the final season of Future Man on Hulu. It's a comedy. It's very funny. It's a little out there, but it's good. And I'm halfway through the last season of Westworld. That's what I'm catching up on. And then once that's done, I love documentaries. I'm going to be watching McMillions about the people that rigged the McDonald's Monopoly contest. So that's my next one.
We have watched that, and you're going to love it. It gets better and better as it goes, too. A little bit like Westworld, actually.
I'm excited. Okay, that's awesome. Woo.
All right. Assistant Athletic Director for Communications at UNM, Frank Mercogliano. Thanks for being on camera in the Lobo Lounge.
All right. Thank you, and we're going to be back. Can't wait to see everyone at the stadium.
All right. So long, everybody. Till next time in the Lobo Lounge. Go Lobos.